Two stocks to buy before SpaceX IPOs. SpaceX has confidentially filed with the SEC for a summer 2026 listing, and the company is targeting a historic $1.75 trillion to $2 trillion valuation. So this is going to be a historic market event. A retail-heavy debut of this magnitude is going to pull immense liquidity into the aerospace and deep tech sectors. But long-term investors know the biggest mistake you can make is blindly chasing a hyper-hyped IPO at a massive sales multiple on day one. So today, we want to look at two stocks that we're bullish on before SpaceX launches its massive IPO. Jose, break down your top pick for our viewers.
Hey, Rachel. Right now, when we think of SpaceX, we think pretty much just the, obviously, space exploration, the satellite, and all that I can actually bring into my pick. But the second part of SpaceX is they recently absorb and acquire xAI, which is the AI company Elon Musk was pushing through to kind of become a competitor against Anthropic, against OpenAI. So when I think of SpaceX IPO, I think of both those angles. And a company that I believe can benefit from both those angles is TSMC. The main reason I picked this one is AI companies need a lot of compute. We continue to hear companies like Anthropic, like OpenAI, say that they don't have enough compute to grow their revenue. We see them making massive amount of contracts to get cloud compute solution. And all that needs a lot of AI chips and all types of chips, not just AI chips. You kind of have a lot of CPUs, GPUs, DPUs, the list goes on and on. And in the market where we are supply constrained, the manufacturer players like TSMC are going to win. The second aspect is the space exploration. Elon Musk has pushed where for SpaceX, one of the goals for them is to start building data centers in space. Now, this seems crazy, and it might not be like the top reason I would pick TSMC, but if Elon is correct, and one of the reasons we need more data centers and maybe even possibly data centers in space is because we are going to be compute shortage for a very, very, very long time. And again, it kind of just trickles back to whoever is manufacturing a lot of those chips, and that would be TSMC.
One of the things that I think is worth touching on a little bit more is some of the operational risks for long-term investors, right? So you think about SpaceX, they're famous for aggressive vertical integration. You know, Elon Musk famously hates relying on external vendor supply chains, constantly brings component manufacturing in-house to protect his margins and timelines. So we know that he has laid out a lot of very ambitious plans for this newly combined company. What prevents SpaceX from eventually, with time, designing and building their own specialized foundries just to bypass the likes of TSMC entirely?
You know, if you would have asked me this question maybe 3-4 months ago, I would have said Elon doesn't have the bandwidth or the time to start manufacturing chips or even plan this crazy, because manufacturing chips is a very, very hard business. I mean, we only have a handful of companies that do it because one, it's heavy in research and development, and two, it's very expensive in the amount of equipment that you need to buy. Now, Elon decided to prove me 100% wrong, and he just recently announced he's building a terafab with, it's a partnership with SpaceX and Tesla, where he wants to build chip manufacturing. So that risk is true, but it takes time, right? It takes time to build these fabs. It takes time to create a manufacturing node. So this is something that investors should definitely keep a closer eye on, but I don't think it's an immediate threat. And when I'm saying immediate threat, I don't think it's a threat within the next 2 to 3 years. Maybe we can come back 2 to 3 years from now. My answer might change. But as of right now, I don't see this being a threat for TSMC anytime soon.
I mean, the barrier to entry on advanced manufacturing is massive, and it isn't necessarily a winner-takes-all scenario either. The other thing I want to maybe push back on a little bit is geopolitical concentration. So about 80 to 85% of TSMC's advanced manufacturing capacity is physically located in Taiwan. You know, if regional tensions escalate or, you know, if there are supply chains that experience major friction, obviously there is that downstream impact for the business, for the stock. How does that long-term thesis play into some of those geographic vulnerabilities?
That's actually a pretty great question, and I think it's something investors should definitely consider. The great thing about TSMC is they are already proactively moving a lot or building new factories here in the United States. not just by choice, but its customers. Its customers are actually being very vocal that they want to diversify the overall geographic pain. Unfortunately for TSMC, this is not something that they can do very quickly. As you mentioned, Rachel, a big portion of their manufacturing footprint is in Taiwan. So it takes time to build fabs all over the world. We're seeing them actively invest here in the United States, especially in Arizona. We continue to hear from them in earnings call that they're saying they're increasing capex and that production expansions are even happening in the United States as well. So I personally don't think we're ever going to eliminate the risk of TSM fully being built or having a big manufacturing in Taiwan, but I think we're going to start to at least ease and bring some of that manufacturing here in the United States. So Rachel, I think you brought up some two really great points here for TSMC that I think investors should consider. But for me, these are very, very yellow flags at the moment, and maybe potentially in a few years they could turn to red flags, but at the moment I just don't see that there. Now, Rachel, enough with my pick. I know you have a pick that you want to share as well, and I'm actually pretty excited about this one, Rachel, because it's also going to be one in the semiconductor space.
Well, think of it this way, right? So if TSMC is the only company that can build the chips SpaceX requires at this point in time, ASML Holding, ticker ASML, is the only company on Earth that builds the machines that allow TSMC to do it. So ASML owns an absolute monopoly on extreme ultraviolet, or EUV, lithography systems. They are quite literally the gatekeeper of the advanced semiconductor world. So this is a company that's based in the Netherlands. They are the world's sole producer extreme ultraviolet or EUV lithography machines, which basically use lasers to print these microscopic circuits on silicon wafers. So without ASML's machines, it's physically impossible to manufacture the cutting-edge chips that run everything from modern smartphones, defense systems, advanced AI models. This absolute monopoly on a really complex technology, it's given them exceptional pricing power. It's made them an incredibly resilient company. So let's say if you want to manufacture anything below a 7 nanometer node, you have to use ASML's hardware. Now, they recently reported their Q1 results, total net sales of almost 9 billion euros, gross margin of about 53%. They reported profits of almost 3 billion euros. They actually elevated at the upper end of their sales guidance for 2026. It's also important to note they entered 2026 with an order backlog of close to 40 billion euros. So that is significant demand for their lithography systems. And these are, again, critical for advanced AI and logic semiconductor manufacturing. So essentially, they have a tremendous runway of guaranteed fully booked enterprise revenues sitting on the books. It's a really, really fantastic business. And it's one that I think is an exceptional buy for the long term.
Now, one thing that does kind of worry me a little bit about is their trailing PE ratio, which is more than 50 at the moment. For long-term investors focused on compounding wealth, that seems to be a very, very steep premium. If the broader tech sector experiences a valuation reset, if we maybe see a bit of a change in the supply demand in the semiconductor industry, doesn't this leave investors exposed to major risk?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to bear in mind. It's also worth mentioning, this is not a stock that tends to be valued cheaply based on traditional metrics. And that really goes back to that monopolistic business model that they have. They can essentially dictate their own gross margins. Those are consistently over 50%. And, something we were talking about, their machines are really that ultimate bottleneck for the entire global tech stack. So their earnings growth is actually highly predictable. And one other thing I'll note, as SpaceX and other companies are expanding their data center ambitions, as global tech giants are building out chip fabs, they're all going to have to buy ASML's next generation systems. And those cost over $350 million per machine. So when you're looking at their earnings power stretching out well into the 20s, I think how I look at it is paying a premium today for the real structural certainty that is driving that business.
Thank you, Rachel. That's a fair point on the pricing power there. I do have one more follow-up, and this is more about export controls. ASML has faced severe restrictions from the US, from the Dutch governments, completely blocking them from shipping their advanced EUV and deep ultraviolet systems to certain players to major legacy makers in China. If these regulatory barriers continue to tighten even further, won't that create a crimp on ASML's growth projection?
Yeah, I mean, there's been, I think, extensive documenting of the China export restrictions. I think they're pretty well baked into the valuation at this point. But it's also worth noting, demand isn't obviously disappearing. It's really shifting geographically. I mean, the US, Europe, Japan, just to name a few examples, are spending hundreds of billions of dollars to build and expand domestic semiconductor supply chains. And all of those factories need to buy those fleets of machines from ASML. So in some ways, the global push that we're seeing for tech sovereignty, it is creating a demand wave that I think does offset these restricted markets. And I think that ASML continues to be a really prime beneficiary of those trends.
There you have it, fools. SpaceX is going to capture the headlines, but TSMC and ASML are already capturing the structural profits. Don't let short-term market hype distract you from foundational wealth-building monopolies that are trading at a discount today. We want to hear your long-term thesis as well. What are some stocks you're keeping an eye out before SpaceX IPOs? Thank you for watching and keep your focus on the long-term horizon. Take care.